Magandang hapon po sa lahat po ng nandito po at nag-participate po ngayong araw na to sa ating Trabaho Negosyo Kabuhayan Series 9 po na entitled Mga Maiinit na Oportunidad sa Kape na Maaring Pasukin. Thank you po sa ating speakers din po na sumama po ngayong araw na to at binigay po ang kanilang oras para po mai-discuss po sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Hong Kong at saka sa Macau po at of course around the world ang mga oportunidad po to sa coffee industry po sa Pilipinas. So bago po natin simulan ang ating mga speakers po, atin pong tatawagin po muna ang ating Consul po sa Hong Kong and Macau na si Attorney Sheila Monederes Ernesto na siya pong magbibigay po ng welcome remarks po dito po sa ating programa.
Welcome message from Consul Attorney Sheila Monedero Ernesto of the Philippine Consulate General in Hong Kong. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Philippine Consulate General in Hong Kong, I am delighted to welcome all of you to this episode of Trabaho Negosyo Kabuhayan or TNK webinar organized by the Philippine Trade and Investment Center in Hong Kong or PTIC-HK, headed by Attorney Roberto Mabalot Jr., Vice Consul and Commercial Attaché. Trabaho, Negosyo at Kabuhayan is translated in English as jobs, business, and livelihood. These are the three main things that this webinar aims to bring to the public. Work and business opportunities for overseas Filipinos and investment options for potential investors. The importance of jobs to individuals and to the economy cannot be overemphasized. Decent jobs give people security, dignity, and fulfillment, and they consist as the main livelihood of most people. The employment rate is a measure of how well an economy is doing. Businesses, on the other hand, grow the economy. They bring progress, innovation, and opportunity. Businesses also generate jobs. It is often said that it is business, not a 9-to-5 work, which brings about wealth. Livelihood is the means by which people secure their basic necessities. Personal livelihood can come from a third job, or from business, or from agricultural practices such as farming, fishing, forestry, and the like. There is an endless array of business opportunities in the Philippines, from established multinational companies in the Philippines, partner with Hong Kong companies in the fields of finance, banking, logistics, manufacturing, telecommunications, and many others, to innovative startup tech companies, to small and medium enterprises that specialize in the manufacturing of Philippine products and handicrafts, to export of agricultural products such as dried mangoes, mangosteen, tuna, and many others. Among the products that are currently being promoted by the Philippines are coffee and chocolate as part of the agribusiness sector. The Philippines has been producing coffee since the 1740s and is one of the few countries that produce the four main viable coffee varieties: Arabica, Liberica, Excelsa, and Robusta. Is especially famous for its strong brewed coffee called Kapeng Barako, which is of the Liberica variety, usually grown in the province of Batangas. largest producer of coffee bean products is Mindanao, in the southern part of the country. Coffee is also being repurposed as beauty products in the form of body scrubs and creams. The first ever coffee body scrub and massage cream was created by Dr. Estela Tanyo of the Green Rescue Organic Association Incorporated in 2015. The Philippines has also been the principal producer of cocoa in Southeast Asia since the 1500s, with its climate being ideal for the cultivation of the cacao trees, whose fruits are the main ingredients to making our well-loved chocolates. A famous Filipino chocolate treat is the chocolate, which is a thick, creamy, frothy, hot drink made from a cocoa tablet called a tablea. Most cocoas are grown in Batangas, Cebu, and in the Davao region. Agribusiness, or the production, processing, transportation, marketing, and distribution of agricultural products, is envisioned by the Philippine government as means to upgrade the agricultural sector from traditional farming to become industrial clusters. Agribusiness intends to maximize opportunities from high-value crops such as rubber, mangoes, bananas, coffee, palm oil, cacao, and ginan are used to produce condiments and sauces, processed fruits, processed shrimp, and other agricultural products. The most profitable agribusinesses right now are fresh produce such as sugarcane, bananas, pineapples, onions, garlic, herbs and spices, coffee beans, and root crops. The raising of hogs, chicken, and cattle, production of eggs and other dairies, and the cultivation of milkfish and tilapia. Supply of livestock feeds, leasing of farm machineries, and aquaculture equipment. Organic farming and the use of hydroponic are also increasingly becoming popular. There is also a growing demand for more ornamental plants and packaging supplies for these agricultural products. The Philippine furniture and handicraft industries that make use of indigenous agricultural materials are part of the agri-support services and manufacturing subsector of agribusiness. With that said, this P&K is definitely about opportunities. Opportunities not just to find a profitable, successful business that suits your interests and needs, but also opportunities to make your visions come true and to help others by providing them jobs and to contribute to the Philippine economy. Let us listen to the T&A resource speakers as they discuss in depth through a series of webinars these various business and investment opportunities in the Philippines. We wish you the best of luck in your journey as professionals, as entrepreneurs, and as investors. Thank you and have a good day.
Okay po, maraming salamat po sa consul po natin na si Miss Sheila Monederes Ernesto po. Ngayon po, pupunta na po tayo sa ating main part of our program. Ang mauna pong speaker po natin ay isang young coffee farmer and agripreneur po. Siya po ay co-owner ng Serio Loon Coffee Farm at naging national finalist po siya of Kabataang Agribiz 2021. She is also a board of trustee in the Young Farmers Challenge Inc. At second placer po siya sa PCQC 2021. So makikita po natin na ang ating mostly po ang ating mga speakers po ay mga young agripreneurs po. So akin na pong tatawagin po si Miss Lendy Lu Luon.
Oh, hello everyone. The Philippines is a coffee. Hello. Hello, attorney. Yes. Okay. So the Philippines is a coffee producing country and is considered one of the few countries that belongs to the coffee belt, gifted to grow the 4 varieties of coffee, which is Arabica, Liberica, Excelsa, and Robusta. But our coffee farmers are not yet well educated on how to use the technology in processing the coffee to produce high quality coffee. Thus, it is being bought in low prices, and high-end roasters who are willing to pay the cost or the price have to import quality coffee beans abroad with expensive logistics. To address this problem, I started this coffee venture by increasing the specialty coffee production by implementing the coffee quality standards in harvesting, processing, and also at the same time educating our neighboring farmers about the technology by showing them an example. With this, we can increase the price of our coffee products and at the same time decrease the cost to our buyers, and so we are now having quality in our locality. Though we have an existing farm, before it was a pure agriculture, we only sell our raw materials and products directly without value adding. So it was during the pandemic that it became an agribusiness. During the pandemic, we were on the lockdown and most of the business was closed. So our distribution channel for our raw materials, which is our cooperative, was not operating by the time. So as a result, our coffee has been stuck and no appropriate storage, resulting to the decrease of the value, the quality. So when there is a decrease in the quality, there's of course a decrease in price. So it is also the time, since there was no classes, I am still in college. So I was able to go home at the farm, and it was the time that I saw my father having difficulties carrying the sacks of carrots, carrying the sacks of the coffee. So I realized that my father is already getting old. So I take a decision in which it's time for me to come back to the farm. It's time for me to engage and make the coffee farming and the coffee business as my choice of my career. So though my college degree, I am taking BA Communication and Media Arts, is not inclined in farming, but I grew up as a farmer. So I think and I believe that my degree that I am taking now is something that our farm was missing before. So I have this kind of goal in which to change the mindset of our farmer parents, diba? They send their children to school and telling them, go back, study hard, get a degree, get a good job, and work in the air-conditioned skyscraper buildings so that you will not experience the difficulties here at the farm. So that's our parents teaching us before. So I want to change this kind of mindset that they send their children to school so that their children will learn, will be educated, and use that education to improve the lives at the farm. So with that, we can address the problem in our agriculture as of the moment. It is because based on the research of the Department of Agriculture here in the Philippines, the average age of our farmers is 57 years old. So they're getting old. So imagine having no less youth going back to the farm because of this mindset. Imagine what would be the Philippines eating in the near future. Not just coffee, but food in general, agriculture in general. So I want to change this mindset na send the school and then go back to the farm. So with this, we can address the problem and we can solve the problem. So with this, I want to be more encouraging the youth to go back to the farms and apply the learnings they get from school. Because we have this kind of adaptability to the technology compared to our parents. So we are more adaptive to the good agricultural practice that has been taught to us than compared to our parents. Like they're gonna say, oh, I've been here in the decade, why are you teaching me this kind of technology? So if you are young, we can be the instrument to shed light to our parents to adopt these good agricultural practices, making our farms more sustainable. So with this in mind, I have founded the Sergio Loon Coffee Farm, a coffee business that processes specialty coffee from farm to cup. This is named after my father, Sergio Loon, Sergio Titing Loon, my mentor and my inspiration, and is one of the pioneer coffee farmers in our sitio. So he was a coffee farmer since the 1970s who had turned from commercial coffee, which is bought around 80 to 100 Philippine peso, into a specialty coffee that is cost around 500 pesos, 400 pesos, and up, depending on the quality. My coffee, actually, the last Philippine coffee quality competition, it was bought $52, 52 USD dollars for a kilo on that time. So it is really depending on the quality you are producing. You can also dictate the price. I also would like to thank the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Trade and Industry, and non-government agencies for teaching us how to process quality coffee, in which it has a big impact into our lives as of the moment. So yeah, so producing quality coffee, our farm who produces quality coffee is not just only known in our province, but also in the Philippines as well. So this is holds true when we got the 10th place in the Philippine Coffee Quality Competition 2019 through my father. And as I have said a while or mentioned a while ago, I got the 2nd place in the Philippine Coffee Quality Competition 2021. And recently, we have also able to receive our PhilGap certification, in which it embodies, or it means that we don't just produce high quality, but also we produce a safe food or safe coffee for our consumers. So here are the one who have helped us with this business, our awards, and also the certificate that we are able to receive. So with the help of the Kabataang Agribiz Competitive Grant, it is a program of the Department of Agriculture to encourage young farmers to go back to farming. I started to value add our farm products into roasted, powdered, and other coffee products. I also invested in buying raw materials such as coffee cherries to process. By processing our coffee, I always adhere to the quality standards in processing, in which it is a directive to pick ripe, float, and sort, and dry the coffee properly, and also monitor the moisture content. So because I've been that quality adding, I believe that quality adding in the green coffee beans or the raw materials is also a way of value adding. And also, to be consistent, I have also invested on the building so that we can have our sorting facility and our weather dryers. So I also choose the sustainable quality materials because I'm looking forward in the near future to apply for FDA license to operate. And our farm, since I have mentioned I am a BA Communication and Media Arts student, so I am trying to apply what I have learned in the university to our farm, in which I created or I utilized the social media to reach our clients in business to business and business to consumers as a target market. So I sell via Facebook page, Shopee, and also I have partnered with Coffee for Peace as a third party to be able to sell my products in Abreza Mall in Davao City. It's because I don't have an FDA, so I need a third party. So the Coffee for Peace is one of our partners. And also, these are my clients in which I have able to have an agreement with them so that both ends are secured. So meanwhile, I have experienced difficulties in securing supplies since in coffee, if you have a quality coffee, if you have a specialty coffee, the demand is higher. So since though we have our own farm, we need more supply of raw materials. So what I did is that I negotiate with our coffee buyers to make a pre-order arrangement and advance payment so that I'll be able to also buy the raw materials of our neighboring farmers. So out from the advance payment they have given, I have offered zero interest loans to our neighboring farmers. Like it's just like pahiram, and then we're gonna pay that with coffee cherries. So more than just securing the supplies, it had helped them sustain the farm harvest and fertilize their coffee trees. So as a also I can also because of the advance payment that our coffee buyers have given to me, I was able to purchase my own coffee roaster. This is not really a high-end coffee roaster, but at least I can refrain from doing it on the pan, which is very tiring. So at least somehow it is semi-mechanical. It has it will roast the coffee without using the pan. And with this business, I was able to like the fruit of working in the coffee business and also joining the Philippine quality competition. First, I was able to buy my own farm. Aside from my father, I was able to buy my own farm and then another farm from the proceeds or from the income of the business. So I can really say that my coffee that okay, so I want to share this is my income per cycle uh, because of this business. These are the people that we are working with. So my coffee business is potential for the world market and also elevating the lives of the community. It is because it is not just about me, but also my community where the business is situated in. It employs women who lost their job during the pandemic and lights the houses of our farmer partners in the farms because we don't have electricity there by giving them solar lights as a community extension. Thus, I can say that investing in my coffee business is also investing in my community. I believe that the trust that has been given to us by our buyers, our consumers, our partner roasters, and our relationship with our community will breed the coffee, the quality coffee your everyday cups deserves. My business is a business that is community responsible, scalable, and sustainable. And I myself can attest that there is future in coffee, there is future in agriculture. Thus, may bukas sa kape, may bukas sa agrikultura. Daghang salamat. And also, I would like to share a video of our farm so that you can have a glimpse of our farm and also what we do. Thank you so much.
Miss Lendilu, so you'll be sharing a video, right?
Yes po.
Yes.
Okay. I'll be sharing a video with you. I'll just mute myself and turn off my camera.
Yes, thank you, Miss Lendilu.
Okay, for a while. Makita na po ba?
Yes,
Yes,
we can
yes.
see it.
Walang audio.
Meron po. Saglit lang. Parang technical difficulties.
Miss Lendilu, I think you could just unmute yourself and then share the audio of the video you're hearing right now. Maybe that would work since we can't hear it. Po.
Hello. Is it audible po?
Can you try po? Don't mute yourself po. Para po
Okay.
marinig namin yung naririnig po ninyo. Thanks.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Sorry.
That's another option po. We've experienced this before. Don't worry po.
Audible na po?
Wala pa rin. Wala talaga, no?
Audible po? Ayaw
Wala.
pa din.
Wala po. Wala po siya. Apo.
We'll just play siguro it later po.
Yes.
Let's figure out muna.
No worries. Opo, opo. So thank you po, Miss Lendilu po.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, po.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay po. So, Miss Lendilu, can you stop sharing? Okay. So, maraming salamat po, Miss Lendilu po. So, I'm actually very proud to hear about the success of yourself and your farm po and your family, basically. So, makikita po natin kay Miss Lendilu na meron pong oportunidad po sa farming. It's either kayo pong mga kababayan po natin ang mag-take ng opportunity po na yan, or yung inyong pong mga pamilya po na nandun po sa Pilipinas. Ngayon po, to expound on the coffee farming and processing din po, we have another speaker po. Although, since si Miss Lendilu po ay nasa Davao del Sur po, yung isang speaker po natin, actually si Miss Elgin Dagohoy, ay na-lag out po ngayon dahil nasa Bukidnon naman po siya at meron, it's the weather right now in Bukidnon is not that great po. Kaya wawalan po siya ng connection. So let's just move forward po. The next speaker that we'll be having is an entrepreneur of Dago Processed Food Manufacturing. Siya po ay dating naging part-time faculty po ng SLU. Dati rin po siyang assembly technician po sa Moog Controls Corporation. Siya po ay nakapag-graduate po ng Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Ngayon po ay atin pong tatawagin ang ating agripreneur po na si Mr. Clifford Ken Batawig, na siya pong mag-share po ng investment opportunities on roasting naman po. So, nice to Nice to talk to you, Mr. Clifford.
Hello everyone. Hello sir. Thank you for the introduction. Share screen ko lang po.
Go ahead.
Yun. Kaya po ba?
Okay.
Ay,
Clifford, it's not slideshow.
it's not slideshow. No?
Oo.
Ay, nakaano siya?
Yung nakikita yung notes.
Sige ma'am. Ay, sorry.
You just
Let me...
shift setting siguro. Oh, yung display setting kanina.
Sige ma'am. Sige ma'am. Okay ma'am.
It's okay now.
Okay. Good afternoon to each and every one of us. So I am tasked to do an introduction on investment opportunity on coffee roasting. By the way, I am Clifford Ken Batawid, and I am the co-owner of Dago Food Products. So before I start the discussion on the investment opportunity on coffee roasting, let me discuss or have a brief history on how me as a mechanical engineering were able to venture into the coffee business. So Dago is actually an applied tribe in the Mountain Province, which means to gather. So it is actually an initiative to gather coffee produced from our Cordilleran farmers and bring it to your doorstep. So Dago aims to expand the market of locally sourced coffee worldwide. So experience the taste of coffee from different places in the Cordillera administrative region. So here, my raw materials all came from the Cordillera administrative region. So, syempre, meron tayong history kung paano tayo nag-start. So, Dago Food Products started actually during the pandemic that was year 2020. So, the purpose of that was to help MSMEs from the Mountain Province that was hit hard by the pandemic. So what we do is we bring their products from the Mountain Province to the city of Baguio and Benguet, and at the same time, of course, to have an additional income. Kasi during the pandemic, I also lost my job as an assembly technician for the aircraft company. And then what we are selling are desserts and wines, and later on ventured into honey produced by our Benguet beekeepers. So ganun po yung start ng aming journey as a business. The next po is, started on April 2021, we already ventured to coffee. So the reason why we transitioned or nag-change kami is because yung auntie or yung tita po namin is naghahanap siya. She was also hit by the pandemic, and she was looking for someone to sell her green coffee beans. So we decided na instead of selling it as green coffee beans, why not sell it as roasted beans? So doon na yung start ng journey namin. And like I said a while ago, medyo marami-rami kasi yung mga products na binebenta namin, and medyo mahirap. So we focused on coffee. So dito na kami nag-decide to purchase our coffee roaster and machineries. So after some time, yung first na single origin namin from out of Benguet, we were able to have partner from farmers from the different provinces in the Cordillera. Specifically, syempre yung Atok. We also have Itogon, Sagada Mountain Province, Sabangan, Tinglayan, Kalinga, and yung latest na addition dun sa amin single origin coffee, which is coffee from La Trinidad, Benguet. So now we have partner from farms from all over Benguet, the Mountain Province, and Kalinga. And syempre yung mga products po namin, they already reached coffee lovers nationwide and worldwide. And we also have partner cafes and restaurants both in Baguio and in La Trinidad. So ito po yung mga farmers namin. Ito po yung mga farmers namin. So from Atok, Kalinga, Sabangan, Sagada, Itogon, and La Trinidad. So our products and services consist of the following. Yung una po is we sell single origin coffee packs. Yan po. So that is premium quality coffee, single origin, and single farm. And another one is we also have our espresso blend coffee packs where we blend the Arabica and the Robusta variety of coffee. And the last one, which is known for its convenience, is we are also selling drip coffee. So we have Cardillera coffee in drip coffee filters. Aside from those, we also offer wholesale prices. We also offer coffee roasting services. And then we also ventured into coffee as souvenirs. So mayroon pong mga nag-inquire sa amin na gusto na yun yung magiging souvenirs nila for their weddings. And then, of course, we have here our own roaster. Therefore, we can give our coffee freshly roasted po. So, Dagop Coffee, we source our green coffee beans directly from our farmers. We also have our coffee roastery and production machineries like grinding, filling po, and sealing, allowing us to do production quickly and accurately. And po. So why did we choose coffee and roastery business? So the first one is we are helping coffee farmers and cafes. So actually ang nangyari dito is it is a symbiotic relationship na kung saan syempre kung wala yung mga farmers natin hindi rin kami makakapag parang ang nangyayari is farmers will help us. Actually, it's yun nga, symbiotic relationship na lahat kami, the coffee farmers, the cafes, is nagtutulungan. Next reason is we want our local coffee to be known worldwide. So yun yung isang reason. And of course, yung isa is there is business in coffee because of its demand. So trivia lang, coffee is considered the third consumed beverage in the world. So water po yung first, followed by tea, and then the third one is coffee. Therefore, there is a large demand when it comes to coffee beverages. And ito po yung reason kung bakit parang nag-venture din kami sa coffee. The coffee community is very supportive. We have here different government agencies that are helping us not only promote our products, but also help yung other parts of our coffee chain, and of course some non-government organizations. So very supportive po ng ating coffee community. That is why we pursued the business on coffee. Siyempre, how do we market our coffee? Siyempre, ang number one po dyan is brand awareness. So we do social media. We post our products in Facebook. We also have our Shopee. We are also attending trade fairs, giving samples to most especially to cafes and restaurants. We are also joining trainings and seminars, giving freebies. We also give transparency to our customers where if we say that the products came from Sagada, it really came from Sagada. And then we are also open to suggestions that because we all know not all people have the same taste when it comes to coffee. So if a client wants to roast their coffee at a higher roast level, then we can do so. And the last one is, of course, we always go for continuous improvement. So that is how we market our coffee. Yun. So, before, syempre, venturing into the coffee roasting business, it is a must for us to know kung ano ba talaga ang coffee roasting. So, coffee roasting, it is the process of transforming green coffee beans from our coffee farmers into fragrant dark brown coffee that we know and love. So, in short po, it is the conversion from the green coffee beans galing sa ating mga farmers to roasted coffee beans. So in the coffee value chain, we are yung second step. So from the farmer po, na ang kanyang end product is green coffee beans, ipapasa po nila sa atin. We will roast the beans. And of course, yung final product natin will be the roasted beans na ipapasa naman natin sa ating barista or yung mga cafe that will convert it into coffee beverages. So ganyan po siya. And like yung sinabi po ni Ma'am Lendy Lu kanina, we are also following some standards in the procurement, grading, in the roasting, cup, and packaging of our coffee. So syempre, in the coffee roasting business, it is always our aim to roast quality beans. So in order for us to do so, we need to know the following. So the first one is our coffee. The next one is knowing our machine. And the last one is knowing our craft. So when we are talking about our coffee, which is the single raw material ingredient, we need to know more, or we need to really study how the beans are formed, or what are the factors affecting our beans, or if what are the changes of the coffee beans when roasted, and what are we actually cooking. So kumbaga sa pagluluto din ng ating mga pagkain, we need also to know the proper ingredients, or we need to know our raw materials before doing the before cooking. Next is to know your machine. So it is important for us roasters to be able to know our machine in the sense of, syempre dapat alam natin yung mga types of machines natin, how they operate, how it is maintained, what are the safety precautions with regards to the machine. And at the same time, kapag alam na natin yung mga machines na to, we can actually choose the type of machine that we will buy that is appropriate for our business. So ganun po yung know your machine part. Next is we need to know yung ating craft. So take note po na ang roasting is a coffee roasting is a profession. So hindi lang po kami basta-basta nagluluto ng coffee. Coffee roasting is considered as a profession, which means, or at the same time, yung coffee roasters po are considered as artisans, and yung aming sinisend, or yung aming end product, which is the roasted coffee, is our art. So pansinin po natin na ang mga roasters ay meron siyang different o magkakaiba yan ng roast when it comes to the coffee. That is why we are known as, or coffee roasters are artisans. So because this is a profession, it is of course a skill to be learned. So we need to learn the science and the concepts behind it, and of course to always push for continuous improvement. So we have your graphs and some science and concepts behind roasting. So bakit ba kami nagro-roast ng aming kape? So bakit hindi na lang magpa-roast na lang kami dun sa mga existing na coffee roasters? Ito po yung mga kadahilanan. So the first one is for brand identity. So roasting your own coffee adds value to your brand. Siyempre, we can tell our customers the story from the farm to the roast. And at the same time, siyempre, when it comes to social media marketing, medyo Instagrammable yung mga photos natin, most especially if those coffee are, you know, the photo of the coffee is taken beside a roaster. Okay. Another one is we can offer fresh roasted coffee or avoid stale coffee. So an advantage, syempre, na meron tayong roaster. Another one is lesser cost for your business kasi you can do quality control. Pwedeng ikaw mismo yung pumili ng coffee mismo from our farmers, and at the same time, ikaw yung pipili kung paano siya ma-roast. Meaning that you can always target the top quality. Next, of course, is added revenue at retail price. Kasi syempre, instead na magbabayad ka ng mag-roast doon sa coffee mo, you are the one who is actually roasting now your coffee. Another one is yun, coffee roasting services as an added revenue stream. And syempre, kaakibat nito is yung learning. So more driven to learn more about coffee when you are roasting. So this comes with yung sinabi ko kanina na continuous improvement. So alam naman natin, we have competitors, and for us to be able to compete with them, we need to really improve. And the last one is roasting at origin. Ito yung isa sa pinaka-importante kung bakit tayo nagro-roast. That is to uplift the country and the place of origin. So imagine kapag yung coffee na ni-roast natin is masarap and then nakarating siya sa ibang bansa, hindi lang yung business natin yung na-uplift, but at the same time, Philippines, tapos yung kanyang place of origin, which can result to business opportunities po sa ating country and at the same time, business opportunities po doon sa place of origin. Siyempre gusto nilang bisitahin yung mga coffee farms ng ating mga farmers. Siyempre ang mangyayari dito ngayon is there will be an increase in tourism pagdating naman doon sa place of origin. And siyempre, if you want to start yung ating coffee roasting business, we need to know what to consider. So, we need to do research, yung capital, and then yung mga target markets natin. So, with regards to research, syempre, bago tayo pumasok sa isang business, we need to make sure na may idea tayo sa business na pinapasok natin. So, in order for us to do that, we can read books, news, the internet, reviews, blogs, and etc. We can also attend here seminars or trainings, face-to-face or online, by our government agencies and paid training. So I am actually a product of the DTI Young Entrepreneurship Program, Batch 2021. So not only to educate us about business or on coffee roasting, but it is also a way for us to determine kung gusto ba talaga natin yung coffee roasting. Kasi syempre kung nahihirapan tayo sa mga technical terms and everything, yun nga, at least man lang matansya natin kung gusto ba natin o hindi. We can also tap, yun nga sabi ko, the government agencies about these trainings and seminars, paid trainings from licensed training centers, and then syempre, hindi naman natin kailangang biglain yung sa coffee roasting. We can start small by knowing coffee in the general perspective, and then little by little po, na papunta dun sa mas complex na part ng ating coffee roasting. Another one when it comes to the research is asking coffee roasters. So before we enter or venture as a coffee roaster, tanungin muna natin yung mga coffee roasters natin about their experience with regards to coffee roasting. So like I said, the coffee roasting community is really supportive. Actually, I learned roasting from one of the BCAA graduates. He is Kuya Edgar of the Red Soil Coffee Manufacturing. Shout out kay Kuya Edgar. So, even large companies actually are helping each other through benchmarking. And I can say that pagdating po sa ating coffee roasting is open po ang mga roasters dito sa Pilipinas. And at the same time, experience coffee roasting. Siyempre, mas maganda na mayroon tayong first-hand experience. Yun nga, para ma-check natin kung gusto ba talaga nating i-venture yung business na ito. Siyempre, ang next dyan is when it comes to the capital. So, capital, of course, yung pera na gagamitin natin for the roasting machine. And then, we also have here the coffee beans and etc. And then, coffee roasting training. Siyempre, ang next na question na lalabas dyan is roasting coffee profitable? Ayan. So, a research done by the Specialty Coffee SCA Association in America. Okay, roasting coffee is profitable and a good avenue for business growth for coffee shops, provided, syempre, that we will work hard to improve ourselves and our business. Another struggle po kasi, kaya parang finocus ko yung part ng research, is medyo mataas po ang kapital na kailangan kapag magsa-start ka ng roasting business. Siyempre, ang next na question dyan is, you as a coffee roaster, are you profitable? So as of the moment na I have already reached my 1 year in the coffee roasting business, I am now sitting at 20% na po ng aking return of investment po natin. So now I am targeting this year to reach up to siguro 50% kung maaari. And I can say that my business is now growing. And at the same time, na-match din kasi na medyo nag-lose na po yung ating pandemic. Another one that we need to consider is our target market. So nasabi din to actually ni Ma'am Lendilu kanina. So in our target market, we need to choose among the three. If we will go for commercial, yung premium or yung specialty. Another one to consider is doon sa local or the international. And another one is of course, because syempre farm product pa rin to, we need to consider also the sustainability and the quality of our supply. So with regards to the sustainability of supply, local coffee versus international coffee. Mostly po ng kape natin dito sa Pilipinas ay imported. And we can say na kapag ang target po na market natin is international coffee, it is sustainable. Pero kung katulad niyo po ako, na #support local, ito po yung struggle natin. There is actually a shortage of supply in our local coffee. So syempre, alam na namin na yun yung problema. So what do we need to do now? So we need to encourage our farmers, okay, or the youth, yung mga anak ng ating mga farmers for the next generation, to have coffee as their second crop. So hindi naman ibig sabihin nito na iiwan na nila yung mga main crops nila. They can also consider coffee as their second crop. Siyempre ang mangyayari dito, minsan kasi ang mga farmers natin is ayaw nila sa coffee kasi yun nga, hindi sigurado kung may ibebenta ba nila o may ibebenta ba nila yung kanilang mga products. So together with some roasters and cafes, actually we have here partner farms. And then we encourage of course our partner farms. Yun. Tapos hindi lang dapat hanggang sa encouragement lang magtatapos. Dapat we need to ensure na yung mga produce nila is bibilhin natin or bibilhin namin. And of course, in lieu with this or connection with this, we also provide trainings and seminars on coffee in partner with the government agencies, yung non-government organizations, and the coffee community. So together with DTI, we have actually yung mga experiences namin. We were able to have a Coffee 101 appreciation seminar in Kibungan, Benguet. And another seminar doon po sa ating in Mangkayan, Benguet. So ganun po. And then for the quality of supply, sabi nga nila, your coffee can only be as good as your beans. So anong ibig sabihin po nun? We as roasters are not magicians po. Na kumbaga kahit na yung produce na beans ng farmers hindi masyadong maganda, pwede namin siyang gawan ng paraan para maayos. So, syempre, for us to be able to ensure na maganda din yung quality ng coffee beans or yung green coffee beans na nakukuha namin, we will do or we are actually having teamwork with our partner farms. So ang nangyayari po dito is we are giving them feedbacks and for them to be able to have a better quality. At syempre, sabi din ni Ma'am Lendilo kanina, if we will be able to produce higher quality, of course, we will buy it at a higher price. So, ganun po. Ayan, so that is the things that we need to consider before starting a coffee roasting business. So, we need to do research, capital, and then, of course, our target market, and at the same time, sustainability and quality. And then this is po the last part. Let me focus doon sa tinatawag nating shared value chain. So in summary po, lahat farmer, mapa-roaster ka man, mapa-barista, we have equal responsibility. Kasi it is a chain, meaning kung merong part dito na hindi masyadong maayos, most probably hindi na po masyadong maayos yung part ng ating output. So dito po makikita natin that in the creation and preservation, it is 80%. Ayan, wherein soil variety processing, nakafocus po siya dun sa farm na part. And then sa amin lang po as roasters and yung ating barista, we only ang tawag dito, 20% lang yung aming contribution doon sa from farm to cup. So in behalf of all the roasters and the baristas, we would like to thank our farmers for providing us with quality coffee beans. And then for you guys to have an idea on what we do, meron din po akong video and hopefully yan, medyo may audio siya. So share ko lang po.
You have to stop share muna, Clifford.
Ma'am?
You remove your presentation material before you show your video.
Kasi po.
No, you can share now your video.
Okay.
Okay. It's good.
Di ba may audio po? Yan.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Okay po. Maraming salamat, Mr. Clifford Ken. Katulad po ng sabi po ni Mr. Clifford po sa atin pong mga participants, ito po ay etong coffee business po na to ay magandang oportunidad po, pero kung kayo po ay kabado pa rin po, katulad po ng sabi po niya, ang coffee ay pwede pong maging second crop. So maaari pong meron pa po kayong ibang mga crops or vegetables or plants po na ipla-plant po sa inyong farm po. Ngayon naman po, pagkatapos po ni Mr. Clifford, may we ask po dahil si Miss Elgin Dagohoy po ay nandito po. Miss Elgin, just to give a brief introduction of Miss Elgin po, she graduated Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management po in Bukidnon State University. She is a member, farmer, and education committee po ng Bayanihan Millennium Multipurpose Cooperative po. Siya rin po ay Vice President of Bayanihan Young Coffee Farmer Organization sa Pigtauranan, Pangatuan, Bukidnon po. Miss Elgin Dagohoy po, can you join us po. Okay po. I think talagang may weather concerns or issues po with Miss Elgin po. So ngayon po, pupunta na po tayo sa last speaker po natin. Ang last speaker po natin ay may master's degree in community development and a certified public accountant po. Nagsimula po siya sa kanyang karera sa DTI as a trade industry development specialist noong 1988. At siya po ay naging provincial director of DTI Mountain Province for 13 years before she was appointed as assistant regional director of DTI CAR. Currently, she is the regional director of the Department of Trade and Industry CAR, and she has basically rendered public service for 33 years po. Now I would like to call on po Director Juliet P. Lucas po for to discuss po yung mga investment opportunities po sa coffee industry. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Attorney Mabalot. Before I show my presentation, I would like to acknowledge Attorney Sheila Mondero Ernesto, the Consul of the PCG Hong Kong SAR, and of course our Welfare Attaché of the OWA, Ms. Versi B. Tamayaw, who is also with us in this webinar. And I would like to congratulate the two speakers. They are very young and very inspiring. Bob, when I was working with the coffee farmers, starting to work with the coffee farmers back in 2005, I was talking to retirees, I was talking to elderly people, and looking at them now gives a lot of inspiration and hope for the industry. So what we are going to present to you now are yung kabuuan po ng buong industriya, and I would like to share to you what I prepared earlier para mas madali, and I will watch also my presentation. Okay, so I will share this one. Okay, I hope. At PPIC Hong Kong. Wait. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat, to our commercial attaché at PPIC Hong Kong, Attorney Robert Mabalot. He is actually from Baguio. So we are very thankful that you invited us for this webinar that is relative to Trabaho Negosyo Kabuhayan Series 9th na pala ito, Attorney, so mga mainit na oportunidad sa kape na maaring pasukin. Ito po ang aming ibibigay sa inyo ngayong hapon, at kami po ay we have selected several resource person para i-share namin sa inyo kung ano yung mga oportunidad sa kape. Meaning to say, these are business opportunities na pwede nating gawin or ang ating mga kapamilya dito sa Pilipinas could venture into, so that our income out of what you have earned will be value adding or putting extra mile, going extra mile. So today is Sunday, just relax. I know you are on off days, work off, so it's a new way of spending this Sunday with a learning series. So thank you again, Attorney Bobby, and thank you to all of you who are joining us today. So I am going to share to you the investment opportunities in coffee. But before I'm going to give you the investment opportunities, I would like to give you the status of the industry dito sa ating sa ating bayan sa Pilipinas. Kasi ito po ay masyadong hot na topic. Hindi lang kasi hot ang ating mga kape, pero it is really one thing that we should be thinking about. Okay, so dito kasi sa Pilipinas, malaki ang industriya ng kape. Ang revenue natin dito is $4.439 million, meaning to say $4.4 billion billion, no? That is in 2020. At sa 2021, naging 5.2 billion dollars, no? 5.2. Meaning to say that is the magnitude of the gross revenue that is revolving within the country. Pero ang market na ito ay lalaki pa rin kasi ang mga Pilipino mahilig talagang magkape. So every time you say, let's go for some snacks or refreshments, sasabihin natin tayo na at magkape tayo. So it's one way of inviting, peacemaking, etc. No? So yun po ang palagi natin sinasabi. At sa Pilipinas, ang buong population natin na 110 million, ang average consumption nun is 1.2 kilogram in 2020. Magtataas pa yan by 2021. So because this data was a projection in 2020, and I think tama nga ito, 1.3 kilogram in 2021 kasi sa mga Filipinos, mas dumarami ang kanilang mga requirement ng kape. So average revenue per capita is yung ini-spend ng isang Pilipino sa buong taon is $47.65. Pero ito ay based on the 110 million population of the Philippines, bata man o matanda. So, meaning to say, 110 million Filipinos times $47.65, yun ang ating mga expenditure ng mga consumers dito sa Pilipinas. Tapos, mahilig na tayong lumalabas at nagkakape sa labas. Noon, pambahay lang. Ngayon, gusto nating lalabas at magkape doon sa ating mga cafes and bars, no? Kaya, pagka pupunta tayo sa mga restaurants, give us coffee, o pupunta tayo sa mga cafe, at marami ring nagipa ng establishments ng kape. Medyo nga lang na-close sila noong 2020 dahil sa pandemic. Pero ngayon, nagsibalikan namin ito say, nag-close sila, nag-put off the business, but there are a lot of new establishments now. Halos every corner dito sa Baguio City, sila po ay may coffee shop. At along the roads dito along the expressway, along Halsama Highway, going to Kalinga, going to Ifugao, marami rin mga cafes na nag-establish, no? And dito sa chain bars, ito yung mga Starbucks coffee chain, no? Ang tawag natin dito coffee chain. Pero decompose 1,214 establishments. Karamihan nito is Starbucks. Ang gusto kasi yung 14,000 na ito, ang gusto kasi ng Pilipino sa mga cafes, hindi na sila magpa-franchise. Ang gusto nila, they want to have it independently created kasi kanya-kanyang design, kanya-kanyang theme, at kanya-kanyang positioning ng market. So, very creative talaga ang Pilipinas kaya they want it independent cafes and bars. So, that is a total of 15. Ngayon, 2022, there are about 16,300 actually. Tumaas na rin ito kasi nagsibukas na at may mga bago din. At may mga pop-ups din. Maski sa kalye nga may cafe na naka-cart. Meaning to say, dalhin mo lang yung van mo, i-open mo yung likod, at yun na ang coffee shop mo. So, may 3 upuan doon or you give the coffees on the go. No? So, yun po, mga maraming models din ngayon ang nag-establish. Okay? So, as what we are saying here is, ang Pilipino kasi, malakas ang consumption, ang konsumo sa kape. Tayo po ay number 5 in the world sa pagkukonsumo ng kape. At sinong number 1? Si European Union, isang malaking bansa yan. It is composed of several countries, no? And USA, 56 states. Brazil, malaki rin ito country. And then Japan is number 4, and we are number 5. So Japan and Philippines are small countries, but they are big consumers of coffee. Tapos, ang ating production medyo maliit. Kunti-kunti lang ang increase ng ating production. Mas mataas talaga tayong mangonsumo. Kaya, tayo po sa Pilipinas, marami tayong ini-import na kape. At karamihan sa ating ini-import na yan ay in the form of soluble coffee. Tapos, ito po yung soluble coffee na sinasabi natin ay kagayang ng Nescafe at saka coffee ko. Coffee ko kasi is number 1. Pero alam niyo ba na galing yan sa Indonesia? Pagmamayari yan ng Indonesia. Nescafe is the number 1 coffee factory in the Philippines, pero ito number 2. And 75% of the supplies na pinaprocess nila ay hindi galing lahat sa Pilipinas. Galing po iyan sa Vietnam. Kasi siya ang pinakamalapit na malaking production ang kape. Okay? So, ito po yung ating statistics vis-a-vis the world. So, ang Philippines kasi is within the equatorial belt. Yun ang sinasabi nating belt, coffee belt. Itong nasa mapa sa taas, nakikita natin yung coffee belt. So, it is 23.5 degrees north latitude and 23.5 below the equator. Yun ang ating sinasabing coffee belt. At kasama na dito ang Pilipinas dito sa right side na ito. Pinakamaliit na yan at sa taas nun is below that, taas nun is Taiwan and then Japan, no? So kasama sila hindi sila kasama sa hindi nakasama ang Japan sa ating coffee belt. Ang coffee belt na ito yung mga producers of coffee. So, the whole country of the Philippines is very much suitable, no? Suitable for coffee sa lahat ng mga klase ng kape. Pero look at our production compared to the world, no? It is 425,000 sana ito, napababa yung isang zero niya. 425,060 kilogram bag, yun ang world unit, no? Out of 176 million 60 kilogram bag ng world. At ang consumption natin ay 6 million, production natin ay 425,000. Kaya we are net importer ng 5.6. Actually, it is just 425%. 425,000 is just 7% or of what we are consuming. Therefore, we are net importer. So, ang laki, no? Ang laki ng ating net importation ng kape. That's why, pinag-uusapan ito sa Pilipinas kasi maraming hinahatak ng kape na ito na palabas na pera sa ating bansa. We want sana na itong revenue na ginagamit natin should be circulating within the Philippines. That is if tayo mga negosyo, ang negosyo ng kape, ang production ng kape ay galing sa Pilipinas. Okay, so saan galing na ba ang ating mga kape? So as I have said, ang 4 na klase ng kape ay suitable dito sa ating country. So anong 4 na klase ng kape? Ito ay Robusta, yan ang pinakamarami. Arabica, yun ang highland coffee, yung kailangan nasa taas siya. Highly elevated yung location ng kanyang kape. We also have Excelsa and we also have Liberica. Liberica ang sinasabi nating barako. Hindi po lahat na brewed coffee ay barako. Iyon po ay yung nanggagaling sa that originated in our country. It began in Batangas. So, yun po ang kapeng Batangas, yung barako na matapang. Kaya kung gusto natin yung pinakamatapang, Liberica po ang ating kakapihin. Pero yung gusto nating aromatic, yung nasa Benguet, Mountain Province, yung mga highland po, yun ang ating mga aromatic coffees. Yun ang Arabica. And then for our Robusta, yun ang karamihang kinukuha sa factory para maging instant coffee. But mind you, yung fine Robusta na maganda rin ng kalidad ay masarap ding i-brew. So ito po ay may aroma na, may tapang pa itong si Robusta. Sila ni Liberica. Masyadong matapang yung Liberica, no? So yung mga naghahanap ng tapang, doon sa Liberica sila. Okay, so sino ang pinakamaraming producer ng kape? Itong si Sok Sargent doon sa Region 12, siya yun. Mindanao actually has the highest production in coffee. So itong si Sok Sargent and the Davao region, and then we have Northern Mindanao, and then we have Western Visayas with Calabarzon, which was once a big producer of coffee, pero inalis na na ito kasi naglipanan ng malalaking subdivision, so it was replaced by urbanization. Ito naman si car, sige pa rin tayo sa pag-i-increase ng ating kasi sa car kasi parang home consumption lang ba, nilagay lang sa tabi-tabi ng kanilang bahay. Pero ngayon, they started also doing the plantation, which is a big investment so far. Kaya nakita ninyo, malaki rin yung investment area planted na ngayon sa Cardillera rather. Okay. Ang ating value chain sa kape is from seedlings, nagiging coffee berry siya. So, nagiging coffee berry siya, yun ang ating kina-harvest, yung may red na balat. Tapos, drenay natin sila, yun ang pre-processing. Hinal, we remove the skin, and we remove the inner skin to give us the coffee beans na ating i-roast. Ang tawag natin doon is pre-processing. And then processing it, of course, is the roasting until it becomes the coffee in the cup that we are going to drink. So we have the different transformation of the product until it becomes a drinkable beverage. So ito, input, from the seedlings to coffee cherries or coffee berries. And then pag natuyo yan, we call that the coffee dried coffee berries. Tapos hinal natin, nilagay natin sa hulling machine para patanggal yung pulp, yung outer skin niya, nagiging parchment. After that, tanggalin yung parchment paper na parang papel na covering the beans, no? Yun ang parchment. We call that the green beans now. So, yung hindi hinog na berries ay hindi green beans po yun. Yung binalatan, yung nahinog at nabalatan na beans, yun po ang ating green beans. At yun po ang ilalagay sa roaster para maging roasted coffee na ating iinumin, i-brew for our coffee in the cup. Okay, so yun po ang ating value chain. As we do this process, syempre nadadagdagan ang ating value. If coffee cherries is 30 pesos per kilogram, ang green beans naman ngayon is because of the processes and the value nun, ang coffee beans is, if it is robusta, parang it runs to from 90 to 180. Pero pag fine robusta, it goes up to 240 pesos per kilo of green beans. Pag Arabica naman yan, ngayon, it is 350 to 450 per kilo. Ang Liberica po, kasi rare siya, at kunti pa lang siya yung supply niya, mataas po ang presyo niyan from 600 up to 700. And then, pagka-roasted beans naman, usually mga 900 to 1,200 pesos per kilogram of roasted coffee. Pag magkape ka naman, depende yan sa klase, depende yan sa quality ng ating beans na binibili nila for the coffee shop. And karamihan yan mga 90 pesos per cup. Or may dinagdag na yan mga cinnamon or mga flavorings, added materials like milk. No? So, mga 90 pesos per cup. Plus minus yan. So, that's an average of pagkat sa coffee shop. Pero if you brew your own coffees, then that's a different thing, no? Because what you are buying is the roasted coffee. So, yun po ang process natin at saka value chain ng ating kape. And each of these value chain, may mga different possible businesses that we can engage and nakikita natin dito. Ang iba namang organization, they do their business end-to-end from the farm up to the coffee shop. May ipapakita ko ako sa iyo mamaya ng mga magpapresent din sa atin ng mga resource person natin, yung mga business models nila. Kasi iba-iba na ang puntahan nila dito sa mga different businesses na ito para depending on their location, their marketability at saka yung kanilang mga capability as a business person. So, may nagbi-business ng private nursery, may mga seed bank, coffee farm, demo farm, and learning site. So, kanya-kanyang revenue stream per business model. Dito naman po sa pre-processing, may coffee consolidator, coffee equipment grading and cupping laboratory para dito yun mag-aano yung mga technical skills on how to give the quality or the grade of the coffee that we are selling. So which means to say na yung sa ngayon, importante na ngayon yung mga coffee quality. Coffee quality, iniiskoran yan. Kaya when we are into business, we have to learn the coffee quality per step of the value chain. Kagaya ng sa coffee berries, kailangan ang pulp mo ay fully ripe, yung beans mo are fully ripe. Hindi pwedeng ini-strip harvest mo yan na pati hindi hinog ay naka-harvest. Yun ang ginagawa nila noon, kaya hindi pala masarap ang kape natin noon na basta ni-roast siya at nilagay sa kapitera, pwede na siyang inumin. Ngayon, nalalasahan mo talaga ang difference ng quality coffee at hindi. Okay? Yung pulp naman ay yung dried coffee naman, kailangan shiny and crispy pagka nalaglag yan. So that's the standard. Meaning to say, yung moisture niya, wala na. At saka, hindi siya nagmo-molds kasi delikado pala yung may mga molds, no? Yung may mga molds. So, dito, mini-measure naman dito yung moisture. Kailangan kasi 12% water content lang siya para hindi siya mag-mold at saka para hindi siya ma-bake. Okay? So, may standard ang moisture content dito para ma-retain natin ang best quality of roasted coffee. Yun po ang ating mga quality na sinasabi. So, ito ang kabuuan ng mga businesses na pwede nating pasukin dito sa industriya ng kape. Ang susunod na mga slides ay isa-isahin natin yung mga breakdown ng possible expenses natin sa pag-put up ng coffee business, sa pag-put up ng coffee businesses. Okay. Dito po sa first is we have what we call the seed bank. Kasi noon, kahit ano ay pwede na natin itanim. Pero ngayon pala, kailangan yung na ating ilalagay na itatanim ng mga seed ay yung mga certified, yung mga healthy seeds. Kasi alam na kukuha ng mga seeds na pantanim kung saan kukunin at saka what part of the tree at saka how many years yung tree bago mo yun gamitin na mother tree. Okay? Na pagkukunan mo ng mga seeds for planting. So, may mga seed banker. Okay? So, ito, ang kailangan alam mo yung background nun. You learn the science. Tapos, bibili ka ng mga stocks for selling. Pag syempre, yung seeds na ibebenta as planting material is different, has a different price from the green beans or parchment beans na ibebenta for brewing. Iba yun. Kasi ito naman kasi is carefully selected. May genetic analysis pa siya at saka it is supposed to be the quality. Para kasi from the very start, kung nagtanim tayo, dapat yung good quality para good quality din ang kanyang productivity. Okay? Ang estimated income dito is per 0.5 kilogram of seed na pangtanim kasi sabi nila pwedeng itanim ang 0.5 kilogram of seeds sa isang hektar. Ang gross income natin dito is $42 yung selling price plus $25 yung cost of seeds, $17 yung per 0.5 kilogram. So, depending on what you will bank kasi hinahanap ito kaysa ikaw naman na farmer ang maghahanap, edi hanapin na lang natin sa seed banker, okay? Then ito naman si nursery para yung si farmer magtanim na lang, mag-prepare ng land at magtanim na lang. Iba naman ang may business dito sa nursery. So from the seed banker, kukunin niya yung mga seed at itatanim niya sa seeding bed para ready for plantation after some time. At ito naman po, ang ginagamit nila, may mga structure sila. Of course, may mga soil sila, magpipili sila ng soil na dapat with all the good requirements based on the soil or nutrient na requirement ng kape. Yun ang ina-analyze gawa natin kasi mga farmers na traditional, lahat na lang ng ating garden, basta complete fertilizer lang ang ilalagay. Hindi natin kinoconsider na may deficiency siya sa nitrogen, phosphorus, at saka sa potassium. Tingnan muna natin sa soil analysis kung saan siya dapat mas marami ang ilagay. Okay, so yun ang ginagawa nila sa nursery. And then they plant the seeds and then grow them. Itong mga ito, ready for planting doon na sa plantasyon. So, ito, nursery. Ang selling price ng isang seedling ngayon about 50 pesos, yung quality seedling. Kasi dapat mapili tayo dito kasi kung sa, like for example, sa project ng government, nagbibigay na sila ng seedling, pero pag binid out nila yan from supplier, hindi natin na-verify kung yung binibigay ng supplier ay tama, yung parang yung totoong quality na seedlings, no? So we have also to know the source of the seedling, yung accredited lang. Yung accredited nursery, yun ang ating hinahanap na pagbilhan ng ating mga seedlings. Hindi basta-basta, no? Kasi otherwise, if you have learned the way of seeding the coffee, then you can be sure of the quality of your seedling. Pero pag hindi mo yung alam, we have to go to a certified nursery, no? Accredited nursery. So we go to the TA, hanapin po natin yung mga listahan ng accredited nursery. Doon po tayo bibili ng mga pananim. Okay, paano ba ito naghang ako? Okay, next. Ito naman po, ito na sa plantasyon. So, 1 coffee hectare ay 1 hectare plantation ng coffee. No? Ang investment requirement natin dito is about $17,500. Okay, so, kasi yun ay prepare, tinitingnan ang kalidad ng soil natin para to determine kung ano ang klaseng management, fertilizers, at saka inputs ang ating ilalagay. So, ito, kailangan kasi ng kape yung shade. So, maglalagay tayo ng shade trees doon sa plantasyon. Then, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung mga seedlings, at saka yung labor cost, yung mga nagtatanim, nagle-layouting, mag-staking and holing, plantation caring, weeding. Hindi ito tanim ng Diyos na until na may makita nating seeds or may nakita tayong berries, saka tayo pupunta sa kanila. So we have to manage also the plantation so that the trees will be healthy and that they will produce good harvest. And then we have also pre-processing facilities for drying, colors, storage. Ang storage kasi very important din yan kasi itong si coffee pwedeng mag-reacquire ng moisture. Di ba sabi ko kanina, kailangan 12% moisture content lang siya. Kasi pagka more than that, pwede siyang mag-amat, moldy, and moldy is not healthy. So that makes the quality of the coffee very hazardous. Hindi risky, hindi hazardous to human consumption. So, ayaw natin mga nag-aamot ng mga kape because that is very unhealthy. So, we have to store them properly na yung moisture content niya na 9 to 12% ay ma-maintain. So, ito po yung ROI natin sa isang hektarya ng kape. We will, average yield natin sa isang hectare is 550 kilogram. Pero pagka maganda pala ang management ng ating plantasyon, pwede pala itong mag-yield ng 1,000 kilos per hectare. At yan po sa roadmap natin sa kape, yun din ang gusto natin mangyari, okay? So, equivalent gross receipts is $1,070 and the average maintenance cost is $770. Therefore, we have a return of $533. The net earnings after net earnings is 508 and removing all costs including tax, we will have $300. So average production cost of per kilogram is $1.4, pero farm gate price additional income from intercropping vegetables and livestock to get an additional income per month. Yung iba naman, hindi lang vegetables, sa Benguet, nilagyan nila ng mga succulents para may regular na sila na income sa mga benta ng succulents. Okay? Sa Nescafe plan, ang sinasabi ni Nescafe, sa isang hektarya, dapat naka-intercrop yan with vegetables and livestock. Yung livestock kasi, yun ang para sa ating mga organic fertilizer para hindi tayo heavy sa pamimili ng commercial. And at the same time, if we use organic fertilizer, mas healthy siya. Okay, so si Philippine Coconut Authority doon sa areas na maraming coconut, they are also helping farmers na pwedeng itanim yung mga kape in between coconut para may shade siya. At the same time, yung space in between coconut trees will be utilized. So may income ka sa kape, may income ka pa sa coconut. So itong mga estimates na ito ay hindi nakataga sa bato. Kasi as I have said, marami pa tayong pwedeng gawin doon sa taniman ng ating kape. This is what we call the Nescafe plan. Ang Nescafe plan na 1 hectare farm, na sabi nila it is supposed to be intercrop, no? So, itong figure na isa on the left, ito yung hindi maganda kasi hindi masyadong arrange yung ating plantasyon. When we design, we have the opportunity to design the new one. Dapat naka-arrange siya para yung ma-maximize at saka yung movement ng tao na nagmamanage ng plantasyon ay hindi masyadong marami. So, yung farmer hindi masyadong napapagod. At the same time, maganda ang management ng farm. Sa left side naman ito yung sinasabi ng correct. So, we have coffee trees and then vegetables in between. But you have to enclose the livestock area para ma-harvest mo yung organic fertilizer and at the same time hindi sila damaging doon sa inyong other plantation. Okay? So ito po yung Nescafe plan na ina-advocate ni Nescafe sa atin. So intercropping provides additional regular income kasi yung kape minsan ka lang mag-harvest sa isang taon. So itong income mo dito is one-time, big-time na income mo. While itong mga intercrops mo are your regular income. Okay? And of course, it lowers the cost kasi may organic fertilizers ka na. And depending on the harvest of the vegetables and what, your income per month is 9 to 15,000 pesos. Pesos naman ito. Okay? So iyan po ang Nescafe plan. Now, itong nasa slide natin ngayon is the farm of Ola in Sagada Mountain Province. I visited this because we were hand-holding Miss Jennifer Rimando as our client kasi yung lolo niya siya yung may nag-start ng plantation. But when the young girl, she was then high school and went to college and came back for the farm. And this time, she made it a business type farm kasi yung farm nila kay Ola noon, it's just a farm. So harvest and then sell, harvest and sell. But this time with all the infusion of technology and knowledge, ginawa niyang very scientific yung kanilang farming. And therefore, lahat ng mga farmers doon, hinikayat nila and then about 50 hectares here, inviting people, let us go and visit the farm. It's very beautiful. So everybody's was old, and then when you go home, you try also going to these farms para ma-encourage kayo kasi nakaka-uplift ng interest at saka excitement to do your own farm. Kasi if we listen to these people doing this, masyado silang passionate, no? So aside from that, since it is a learning school, the owner is also a resource person. So that's also an added income. And because of coffee, she went to other places, Mindanao, Luzon, Visayas, and even Italy, even USA. Okay? Yan ang model ni, iba naman pala itong pinapakita ko sa inyo. So that is, I'll go back. Okay, ito yung si Ola Farm. Ito namang isa na lumabas. Ito. This is also a Highland Brew Coffee in Negros. Noon kasi, istorya naman nito is a group of, it's a community that was assisted by a foreign program. Sila kaingeros. Meaning to say, yung bundok nila kinalbo kasi sinusunog para pagtaniman ng mga cash crops. Pero because of that program, naging may reforestation. So ang ginamit nila, ni-reforest nila with good woods, trees, and then in-intercrop nila with the coffee. So practically yung mga coffees nila are within the forest. So mga sila. So they call themselves green warriors. We farm, we harvest, process, and brew coffee, but at the same time their end market is their Highland Brew Coffee Shop. So nakikita dito, pinupuntahan na sila, nagiging tourist destination pati ang kanilang So ito naman, they sell and they operate a coffee shop, which is now accredited by the Department of Tourism because they tour them around the forest where the coffees are, and then they end up telling the story, and they end up selling the coffees and brewing the coffees and serving them to the tourists. Now, of course, the cluster here is when people go there, syempre, nagka-income din yung kanilang transport businesses, nagka-income din yung kanilang other businesses around the community. Okay. So, yun po sa farming, no? Then, and the processing. Then we go to the roastery. Ito naman si roastery, yung i-prepare niya yung coffee, no? Pero yung roasting pala, yung pagsasangag ng kape, is a science. Hindi basta nasunog na yun na. Kasi dapat hindi masunog yung kape. Ma-roast lang siya at hindi bake. Kasi yung bake kasi tinatanggal natin yung moisture no? Pero dapat itong si roasting ay sangag ka talaga siya. With air yan, with air. Okay, so ang investment dito medyo malaki kung tayo bibili ng roasting machine. But if we use shared service facility, kuha ka lang ng ipa-roast mo doon, bayaran mo yung roasting fee, pack mo, and then sell. So you can still be a roastery. But then, if you want to have your own, kung malaki na yung operation, ito naman kasi medyo mahal. Pero may mga maliliit na mga models, no? May maliliit na mga models. Unfortunately, yung mga roasting machine natin is imported, karamihan imported. May kunting nagpa-fabricate dito, but they have to make the machine, they have to do well on the machine para maging very precise yung kanilang Kasi yung precision na sinasabi natin sa roasting machine ay yung heat. Once we reach the target of the charging heat, kailangan consistent yan all throughout the roasting. So if it is 400 degrees Fahrenheit, yun ang charging heat natin, kailangan 400 degrees Fahrenheit all throughout the roasting period na 10 to 15 minutes only. So hindi dapat up and down yung kanyang level of heat. So a temperature gauge is being installed para precise yan, okay? So pagka sinasangad kasi natin sa the tendency is may iba na hindi sangad, may iba na sunog. So yun ang iniiwasan natin sa pag-roast ng coffee. Of course, yung roasting natin dito, yung product natin na roasted coffee, kailangan na ano yan, na check yan ng FDA, Food and Drug Administration, para na-check nila yung processing plant mo at dapat maganda yan, safe, no? Kasi ito ay para sa tao, so hindi pwedeng walang halong mold, walang halong iba. Okay? So, ito kasi, yung tinitingnan natin sa beans na quality, walang defects yan. Walang halong twigs, walang halong bato, walang halong soil. At the same time, hindi siya inamag, hindi siya kinagat ng mga insekto. So, iniiwasan natin, tinatanggal dapat lahat ang mga defects na yan para yung na-roast na kape ay talagang kape lang. Kape lang ang na-roast na maganda. No? At pagka ininom yan, hindi yan makakalason. Okay? So, it becomes very unhealthy if there are foreign bodies na hazardous. Okay? So, ito rin yung possible income natin sa roasted coffee. Actually, dito malaki rin ang income dito pagka makapag-invest ka ng isang roasting machine. Okay? So, mamaya we will be joined by one roaster at he will be telling you about his business model. Okay, ito naman sa coffee shop, ito yung end kasi pagka hindi na natin nabenta yung kape, edi syempre wala na tayong income. So kung wala yung umiinom ng kape, walang income ang buong industriya. Yung traders hindi bibili sa farmers. Yung mga roasters hindi bibili sa farmers. So, kailangan din natin yung konsumo, yung marketing natin. So, we have here a coffee shop at ito yung pinakamarami. Ito na naman yung mga models ng coffee shop. Ito yung nasa gitna ay nasa Baguio yan. At pinagmamalaki namin yan kasi yan ang auto hub natin for coffee. Yung one-town-one product natin sa coffee. And ito, binibili natin lang dito is local coffees. Dito naman sa cafes, dito sa Philippines, hindi lang local ang sinaserve nila, pwede rin mga imported kasi nga kulang tayo ng supply dito sa Pilipinas. Now, itong mga pop-up cafes, naging popular after the pandemic. Diba may isang flight steward ito, barista ito na nawala ng trabaho, nag-close yung coffee shop niya kasi wala na nga pumupunta, na lockdown tayong lahat. So, ang ginawa niya, dinala niya yung kanyang mga gadgets sa lansangan at doon nag-brew and then tininda. Nag-sell siya ng good coffee sa labas. So, dito, with this model, marami na tayong mga pop-up cafes sa park. So, that becomes another business model. So, ito yung mga, potential na business requirement natin dito sa coffee shops or cafes or pop-up cafes. So, mga, depending on the size at depending on the things that you will be selling there, kasi aside from coffees, you're also going to plan about the pairing of with coffee. Anong i-prepare mo dun sa kape? Hindi lang naman humihigop ng kape ang pupunta doon. They also want something to eat with and drink with the coffee. No? So, ito pong hinahanap natin. So, ang kailangan mo lang dito sa cafes ay you have a good venue. Either rented yan or your own. Mas magahon your own para hindi ka pinapaalis. And the design, kasi yung coffee goers are always wanting to be delighted with the design of the coffee shop. So, kanya-kanyang team yan kanya-kanyang team. May mga looking scholarly ang team, may parang tambayan, may ito rin parang outdoor, para you will commune with nature, maraming ganyan din ang nangyayari ngayon. So, yung mga parks ngayon, meron na silang mga coffee shops, no? Or bistro. And then, of course, you have to have the appropriate equipment depending on what type na of coffee shop you're going to serve. And you're going to establish rather. So, ito mga espresso, we have pour-overs. You do not have to go for espresso if you only want to serve brewed coffee. So, you have pour-overs, manual brew, but you have to have your grinder and utensils. Mas criteria ng Baguio, which we will be replicating dito sa in the regions, no? We are encouraging the other regions to do it. Ito naman ay selling local coffees only, and then nagsaserve siya ng local delicacies kung ano yung meron na food doon sa area na ito. Okay? So it is operated with the supervision of DTI who selected the operator. Kailan kasi yung operator nito ay very capable at saka very knowledgeable kasi aside from selling, dito nag-aaral yung mga coffee shop investors. So dito sila nagbe-benchmark, titingnan nila kung paano nga ba talaga ang pag-operate ng isang coffee shop. So we also do trainings there. Kaya it's a government run. It is operated by a private company, and then the venue is provided by the government, local government, no? So ito, ang isang businessman who would be interested in this will be talking to DTI and the local government to be the winning operator for this establishment. Okay? So yan po ang business models ng coffee shop. Later we will hear from others. Okay? Yung specific na business model nila na they will be sharing with us. So ito naman is another business model. So as I told you earlier, yung coffee shop business may either be franchise or it can also be independent coffee shop. Pero mas marami yung independent, no? Pero if you're interested kasi, all you have to do is you go there, put your money out, and then you have the business already without the necessary preparation because a package preparation is already in place. So they will just give you the concept, the design, they set it up for you, and then they give you the supplies, and then you just pay the franchisor the franchise fee, no? And then put up your operational cost and capital for the establishment, the development of the establishment. Okay, so medyo mahal yung franchise na ito kasi that's 60,000, 1.5 to 2 million yung iba. Yung may nakita akong 600,000 depending on the class and type of the franchise coffee chain, no? Hindi ko nakita yung Starbucks, pero ganyan pa rin yung kanyang franchise fee. Mga aabot yan ng billions, 6 million yung iba. Okay, so pero we have to be very careful because this is high investment, and then we have to see the location. Location is very important for this kind of business. Okay? So for your coffee trainings, kasi pag nakita nyo sa prenesent ko, ang number one na nakikita dito is capability building. Hindi tayo magpupursige sa isang negosyo na hindi natin pinag-aaralan. We invest in training. So if you look at this, capability building is number one requirement, no? Ang ipinakita ko sa inyo, puro number one requirement ang capability building. So we have what we call the coffee schools, aside from the agricultural schools that in the farm, mas magandang pupunta kayo sa accredited coffee schools sa farm, no? Para nakita nyo actually, do not go to, kasi even this coffee training here, even if they are located in Manila, they bring their students elsewhere to visit the farm. So, ang mas magandang tingnan din doon is when you are already face-to-face, interface with the farmer, para experience nila talaga ang sasabihin nila. Ang experience na i-share nila could either be success and failures. Ang piliin natin, of course, is the good practices. So we have here coffee trainings. If you want to see this one, this is the Coffee School of Asia. That is the accredited lab of the Coffee Quality Institute for coffee grading, no? Marami kayong matututunan dito sa coffee processing, from roasting, barista, so which is ito, Curious Guide to Latte Art is 1,800. There are also international courses and at the same time online courses. You just go to this to their website and click, and these are what we can see there. And if you can see the range of their prices, medyo mataas pa nga yung nilagay ko doon kasi you cannot just stay not revert. Sayang nga, there's always a wastage if we close. Okay, sa DTI naman, marami kaming programa na pwedeng tutulong sa inyo para pagpalaguhin natin ang ating mga negosyo sa Kape. At shared service facility ang number 1. Then we have here for product development, marketing. We have auto, one town, one product. And coffee is our priority industry. And it is among the auto products of different regions or provinces. Ito naman nagbibigay ng capability building. We have the negosyo center. So, ang unang hanapin natin before we start with everything is look for the business counselor doon sa inyong munisipyo. Mayroon din tayong pautang with the Small Business Corporation. And we have what we call the program on Rise Up Multipurpose Loan for borrowers. May Rise Up Tandahan sila, may Rise Up Tourism, no? Kasi kung ginawa mong tourist destination ang inyong farm, pwede ka dito sa Rise Up Turismo. Okay, so ang pwede ninyong gawin dito is, kasi depending on the proposal that you're going to give, i-analyze nila yan, and before they're going to give you the right advice. Okay, so hanapin ninyo ito sa Facebook lang naman sila ng Small Business Corporation, or you can go directly to their website, Small Business Corporation. So sa SSF po, marami tayo nito around the country. There are 123 coffee SSF. Kung wala pa kayong machine, punta kayo sa SSF at makigamit kayo sa binigay ng ating government for organizations. And then, kasi shared ito, meaning to say, pwedeng makigamit yung iba. Ang gawin na lang ninyo pag nakigamit kayo is to pay for the toll fee. Kasi bibigyan naman ninyo ng bayad yung may-ari ng mga shared service facilities na ito para ma-maintain ang mga facilities. So I have given you a lot of information about the businesses on coffee. If you have more inquiries, do not hesitate to call us and then email us or Facebook us, chat us with our social media, and then we always find time to give answers to all of you. So we can have another webinar again if you would want to have it later again. Okay, so thank you very much, and we will have other speakers who will share their actual experience. Ang share ko sa inyo ay mga nakita ng DTI as a result of their intervention doon sa maraming programa na ibinibigay namin dito sa industriya ng kape. At pati ang other agencies like DOST, DA, Department of Labor and Employment, TESDA, at saka marami pang iba, Philippine Coconut Authority, Department of Agrarian Reform, kompleto po ang menu ng government. All we have to do is seek for help from all of them. The first step is, of course, you register para we will have the database. Kung nasa database po kayo, malalaman namin na kasama kayo sa mga listahan ng tutulungan ng ating government. So, thank you very much again, and good luck to all of you in whatever endeavors that you are going to pursue for your family as you work there or when you come home for good. So, stay safe everyone, at kami po ay pumupugay sa inyo bilang mga OFW, as we call you our heroes. Okay, thank you very much, and good afternoon.
Okay po. So maraming salamat po RD Juliet for sharing that very comprehensive presentation. So makikita po natin sa ating mga participants po dito sa Zoom, YouTube po at other social medias po na accounts. Makikita nyo po na pinakita po ng ating cluster coordinator for coffee po ang lahat ng aspeto po ng coffee industry po dito sa bansa po natin. So, Mr. Clifford, can you also turn on po your video? I know it's already quite late po, pero we'll just try to answer as much as possible po yung mga some of the questions para lang po sayang po yung oportunidad eh. Nakikita ko po na napaka-positive po ng feedback po ng mga tao po. So, meron pong nagtanong, ano po ba ang best variety ng kape po at which one po is better, Arabica or Robusta? I think that this was answered po earlier, but just for emphasis po, maybe RD Juliet, maybe you can share to us po.
Yes, the best variety is relative to your location kasi yung Arabica is suitable only for highland, yung mga matataas na area, so mga 900 to 1,400 meters above sea level. So kung nasa lowland po kayo, ang mas maganda doon is Liberica, which is the most sought for na coffee ngayon, at saka yung Robusta. Kasi yun ang high yielding na coffee variety.
Okay po. Thank you po, RD Juliet. Another question po is from Miss Karen Ariola po. Owner daw po siya ng coffee products pero planning po pagpatanim ng coffee farm sa lupa ko. Saan po ako pwede makakuha ng ready to plant po na mga, I think mga seedlings po. Yun po yata yung gusto po nilang malaman. Marami pong may gusto po. Yes po, RD. Maybe you can share to us po.
Okay, so around the country, so you have to approach your agricultural technician kasi sila po yung nagsasabi kung saan po ang mga nurseries natin. So aside from that, sa mga nakikita ko ngayon, yung ating Nestle is also giving capability building and at the same time mga seedlings for Robusta. We also have nurseries that are operated by our state universities. But please go to your agricultural technician or your DA, Department of Agriculture, BPI, Bureau of Plant Industry, kasi sila po yung mag-advise sa inyo kung saan.
Okay po. So I think, thank you po RD. Miss Catherine Laurente po, nasagot din po yung katanungan po ninyong yan po. Okay po. Eto po, sa Bukidnon daw po, ano po ba ang magandang variety? Quezon o Maramag area po? Kung kaya pong masagot po ba RD? Yung ganun po ka-specific na katanungan po?
As we have said earlier, origin is very important. Si Clifford, where are you now? 'Di ba? Yung sa kanya kasi sinaseparate niya talaga by farm origin. So ma-compare natin, but even our tongue has different preferences, so we cannot really say Maramag is better than the other kasi depende yan sa mga nagkakape talaga, sa mga humihigop. But of course, yung mga humihigop ngayon, alam nila kung may defect yung kape mo, so yun lang ang iniiwasan natin. It has to be clean, and yung ginawa ni Clifford na mga roasting niyan has brought out the best profile of that coffee. Yun po kasi ang mga role ng ating roasters. So it is also up to the roaster and up to the farmer, as sabi ni Clifford kanina. Siguro Clifford can say something also.
Clifford, you're on mute.
With regards po sa variety,
Sa origins.
Yes po. When it comes to Arabica and Robusta po kasi is, Robusta is known to have higher caffeine po. Kumbaga yun yung nagbibigay ng sipa doon sa coffee. And then yung before po natin i-evaluate kung ano yung variety na ipaplant po natin is, yung isang factor po dyan is doon sa altitude. So usually po kasi ang Arabica is from 700 to 2,000 meters above sea level. And then yung pong Robusta natin is from 0 to 700 meters above sea level. And then when it comes po naman sa flavor, usually po kasi ang Arabica is more on the parang fruity side or dun sa smooth tsaka medyo mellow na lasa. But when it comes to Robusta is yun po yung medyo strong. Or yun po yung nagbibigay ng parang sinasabi nilang body doon sa kape. Bibigat po yung kape, mas mabigat po yung kape kapag Robusta po yung nagamit.
Okay. Thank you, Clifford, for that information. Meron pong katanungan si Jess po. OFW po siya sa Hong Kong. Nagtatanong po siya kung how we can help or promote the coffee bean here in Hong Kong and Macau while we are working abroad pa po. On my end po, since ako po yung representative po ng ating Department of Trade and Industry po dito sa Hong Kong, lagi ko pong ina-emphasize po sa ating mga OFWs na makakatulong po kayo by promoting. Kayo po yung best individuals to promote our products po dahil etong 200,000 plus na Pilipino po na nandito po sa Hong Kong, by sharing the fact na meron po tayong mga agricultural products like coffee, this processed coffee po, mga coffee beans. Sabihin niyo po sa mga kaibigan ninyo dito sa Hong Kong, sa mga bosses po ninyo na bakit hindi po nila subukan po yung mga Filipino products po. Now, for those who might be asking kung saan po sila makakakuha po ng mga Filipino products, one would be we have so many shops selling here po yung mga Filipino products. When we on my end po sa DTI po, sa Philippine Trade and Investment Center, we always join po mga trade fairs, and when we do joint trade fairs like last year the Food Expo po, nagfi-feature po kami doon ng mga coffee products po from the Philippines. Ang napaka-importante po kasi is syempre kailangan po natin ng demand din po. Kailangan natin ng demand dito sa Hong Kong para po meron pong mag-a-ask ng supply sa Pilipinas. Kung hindi po ninyo alam kung saan po pwedeng mag-ask ng supply, you can always ask us po sa Philippine Trade and Investment Center, and then we will guide to you and link you with the proper individuals po na may capability po to export here in Hong Kong po yung mga coffee po. So RD po, maybe you can share say something po on that.
Yeah, that's true. And yun po ang aside from that, Attorney Bob, your loyalty, our loyalty to local products, hindi nga yung noon pagkagaling sa abroad or imported yung ating mga binibili ay mas maganda, pero it's not the same with coffee, because to us our coffee is the best, no? Kami po ang nagsasabi ng kape natin ay best, so that depends upon your judgment, pero that's what we say with our coffee. So ito, we have to heighten talaga yung loyalty natin sa produktong Pilipino and be proud of it when you are presenting it in other countries. So at the same time, dito naman sa Pilipinas, at our end, sa production level, we are trying our best. Sina Clifford na ito, they're trying their best na nagpapakadalubhasa sila para nga mapalabas nila ang the best ng kanilang mga produkto.
Okay po. Yes.
Loyalty and patronage to our Philippine product.
I totally agree po, RD. Kaya po nung nakauwi po ako sa Pilipinas, specifically sa Baguio City, bumili po ako sa Portavagan neto. At syempre po ay akin pong sinishare po. Every time na may mga meetings po kami, try ko pong i-share po at matikman po nila ang mga Filipino products. At syempre, kung magre-regalo po ako sa ating mga foreign clients po, ay kinagamit ko rin po ang ating mga Filipino products, specifically our coffee po. So sa pamamagitan po ng mga maliliit na bagay na po na yan, ay nagkakaroon po ng demand in a way, dahil meron din po yung mga nagsasabi sa akin na parang masarap yung lasa niya, saan ba pwedeng makabili? So at least nakaka-create po natin yung demand po on our end po. Now meron din po ditong nagtatanong po, magkano po usually ang price range ng roaster na sigurado high quality at pang beginner po? Maybe Clifford po?
Yung first kasi po na kino-consider with regards to the roaster is yung capacity niya. So I think may mga sample roasters po tayo na ranging from I think 50,000 and up po. Pero yung mga quality, I think meron na po tayong mapo-purchase at 150 and up po. Mga 1 kilogram capacity po na roasters.
Okay po. Thank you so much, Clifford. So I think as to the question po dun sa how much ang minimum investment, nandun po sa presentation po yun ni RD po kanina. RD, can we share po ba po possibly po yung presentation po just to show po later? I mean kahit after po neto we can send emails po and share some of the presentation that you showed po. Can you share po ba sa amin po?
Yes, let me share the wait lang ha, I will open the investment opportunities for coffee. This is the one. Okay. Close. Let me share. Okay, so asan na siya? Okay, so ito po. Na-share na?
Yes po.
Mhm. So this is the one. Actually, you do not need to look at the amounts, but as Clifford said, may nakukuhang mga samples. So we go to mga iba. If you're at the other countries, you can look at their look at supplies there kasi kukunti ang ating supplier dito ng mga roasters. So i-import pa natin, no? So maganda nga't nakakakuha tayo sa Alibaba, pero yung nabibili namin na fabricated, may 300,000, 600,000, ganun. Pagka malaki, aabot na siya ng 1 million. Ganun po yung cost ng ating ano. Pero I'm just happy na we have already like samples from sample roasters from Taiwan, which is very near, and it is ranging from 150 up to 300,000. Ganun po yun.
Okay po. Thank you so much po, RD Juliet. Meron po yung isa pong question dito na do you offer partnerships in this line of business? Maybe Clifford, I think since you're in the private sector, maybe you would be able to share some information about this. If kunwari, syempre yung iba pong mga kababayan natin ay takot na to do business on their own. So maybe that's the line of questioning that they have po.
Yung partnerships po namin is if you own a cafe, pwede naman po namin supplyan. We have wholesale prices po. But when it comes syempre to wholesale prices, meron po tayong sinusunod na minimum order. And then if you're also a farmer po na wants to sell their green coffee beans, we are open po. And syempre it goes with yung sa amin po kasi is it really goes with the quality. Syempre hindi po namin babaratin yung farmer kapag masyado po talagang maganda yung produce po niya. Meron po kaming price list at price range.
Okay po. And now on the public sector naman po, like what RD Juliet po was saying earlier, may mga for you to get assistance po, I mean assistance na support po na meron po yung mga mentoring programs po para po mas lumakas po yung loob ninyo, mas maging confident po kayo. And what else po, Miss RD Juliet po, para mas ma-emphasize lang po natin sa kanila po.
Yes, so as Clifford said, we have been tapping them to be the ones to teach yung quality grading, no? So, sila ang bumibili eh. So, ano ang preference nila sa mga kape? But there are standards that we are promoting, and we are having even the event like Philippine Coffee Quality Competition, which Mr. Sergio Luon has been attending, and even Elgin was among the contestant there, and they won, and that's why they boosted, they have built up their confidence, and yung presyo nila mataas talaga, so up to naabot nila sa auction ngayon is $74 per kilo. Last year was $52. That's a big amount for kwan, pero which means to say pagka more quality yung kanilang mga produkto, more din yung prices, nabavalue add ba ang ating mga coffee. So hindi naman mahirap mag-produce. We just ng quality, we just have to be knowledgeable and conscious about the practicing, no, of the standards.
Okay po. Thank you po, RD Juliet. Now, yung last question lang po na ating pong ma-entertain. May pamaraan na po ba ang DTI para malink ang bean producers doon sa mga Pinoy sa Hong Kong na may mga coffee shops? Sir, katulad po nung sabi po namin, you can always contact us po dito po sa DTI Hong Kong po through our email hongkong@dti.gov.ph. We have our social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can send us a message po. We reply as soon as possible. You can also contact, of course, po si RD Juliet po. RD Juliet, maybe you can share some details po.
Yeah, but our problem usually is yung licenses, no? So mga export licenses. But for sample quantity, we might be asking the help of the PTIC Hong Kong kasi sila po ang nagli-link, no, sa kanila. And of course, we can process this for you. We are helping our MSMEs like sina Clifford to get their export license para makapag-send sila na facilitated sa inyo.
Okay po. Thank you po, RD Juliet. Ngayon po, kailangan na po nating i-close po ang ating presentation. RD Juliet and Clifford, maybe you have like some few words po that you would like to say po to our participants po in YouTube, Zoom, and other social media platform po.
Yeah, so thank you very much for inviting us, Attorney Bob, and thank you to all those who have attended this webinar. Sana hindi ito yung last na ating pag-uusap. Marami pa tayong pag-uusapan. So stay safe lang po kayo, and as you continue to serve your family right, para din naman sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas ito, and we are, as I have said, saludo po kami sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon po, and good luck sa next venture po ninyo. Clifford?
As for me po, thank you very much for the opportunity po to share our business to our kababayans. And for more, if you want to know more about our business po, you can message us through Facebook. Just search lang po yung Dagop, DAGOP. And then send us a message if you want partnerships when it comes to your green coffee beans or your cafe. If you have any questions po pagdating sa ating coffee as generally, we can answer po your queries for as long as yun po, hindi po kami masyadong busy. So thank you very much po to each and everyone.
Okay, thank you po RD Juliet and Clifford po. Ngayon naman po ay nandito na po tayo sa last part po ng ating programa po. Ang magsasalita po ngayon ay ang ating partner po na 39 years na po. I hope tama pa po or more na po ba in the government po na nagtatrabaho po. 30 years po sa OWA, sa Overseas Workers Welfare Administration. Na-assign na po siya sa Abu Dhabi, UAE po from 2005 to 2007 and later sa South Korea for more than 3 years po. So she started her assignment as a welfare attaché in Hong Kong in May 2018. Her home office is OWA Region 2, Tuguegarao City, Cagayan of the Philippines. So makikita niyo po na nanggaling po tayo sa magkakaibang lugar po sa Pilipinas. Ngayon po, ang bibigay po ng closing remarks po si Miss Versi D. Tamayaw.
Okay, magandang hapon po. Salamat Attorney Roberto Mabalot, ang ating Vice Consul ng PTIC, and naging permanent partner ko na ito sa na-institutionalize na namin yung partnership in promoting this program kasi hindi nahihiwalay ang programa ng BPI sa OWA, laging magkadikit. Lalong-lalo na ang ating mga audience dito ay mga OFWs. And of course, I wish to thank for the great initiative ng inyong tanggapan, Vice Consul. And sa napakagaling na shared experience, expertise at yung passion ng ating very young na entrepreneurs, no? They're still young in this kind of entrepreneur pero napakadami na nilang karanasan, and they are competent enough in sharing their expertise at their age. I know and I believe that itong mga OFWs natin ay nabigyan ng pag-asa. Lalo na alam ko na kanilang mga anak kasing edad din siguro ni Mr. Clifford at saka ni Miss Len Bilo, no? And they can be capacitated by the OFWs here in Hong Kong. And of course, Director Juliet Lucas, thank you very much for sharing what you have in store in BPI. It's in fact, we always look forward. Alam namin na ang BPI at ang Department of Agriculture ay napakahalaga na agency para sa ating mga manggagawang Pilipino dahil ang OWA naman po ay pinopromote lagi yung reintegration. Yung reintegration on the economic aspect. We always wanted them naman to how they can sustain their needs or meron silang alternatibong panghanap buhay when they go back abroad. And of course, we are thankful for the participation and involvement of our OFWs dito ngayon. Kanina, initially, meron tayong mga almost 90. Pero bumaba na ng 57. Okay, we appreciate very much your participation. That only shows how great or how interesting itong topic nito, itong ugnayan na ito, no? Tayo ay nagpapasalamat kasi napakahalagang usapin ito para sa inyo. Actually, personally, this is what I am also looking for because this is also the trust program of the government. Hindi tayo kasi permanente yung nag-abroad. Sooner or later, border will close and we need to go back home. And then, dapat may nakahanda na tayong alternatibong hanap buhay. And ito na yung napakagandang oportunidad daan kung paano kayo ay mas handa at sagana sa inyong pag-uwi pagkatapos ng inyong pamamalagi sa abroad bilang manggagawa. Ito yung pinagtutuunang programa at masabing trust program ng ating pamahalaan, lalong-lalo ng OWA, na ito yung National Reintegration Program for OFWs. In fact, we have lots of programs in store lalo na dyan sa Pilipinas, sa mga regional offices natin, like yung kapartner natin ang DTI, NBA, and Land Bank, doon sa pagbibigay ng mga seminars on financial wellness, entrepreneurial development training, techno skills, and capacity building. And in fact, meron din tayo kaya natuwang-tuwa ako yung kay Lendilu, kasi parang community shared business yung initiative nila, yung project nila. And ito yung ginagawa ng ating mga regional offices kung saan nag-organize sila ng mga OFW family circles. Why don't they also come up with an organization na lahat yung members ay into coffee farming? Okay, and then we can give the trainings in tie up with the DTI, DA, or Land Bank. So mga ganon. So ito yung napakagandang investment na pagkakaroon ng pagkakakitaan at masaya at panatag ang kanilang kalooban at mapanatili sa Pilipinas. Alam mo yung pananatili sa Pilipinas na kasama mo ang pamilya mo. Yung mga ganung bagay na mas masaya yung nararamdaman. Okay. So yun yung bonus, yung magnenegosyo ka na pag uwi mo ng Pilipinas, meron ka ng mauwi ang inihanda ng ating pamilya na ganitong bagay na mas masaya yung pakiramdam na umuwi. So maliban doon, napakalaking tulong din na mula sa negosyo ay makakatulong sa mga kababayan, especially in generating employment. Kasi marami din tayong mga kababayan na walang trabaho. From our earnings, we can plan, save, and invest into this kind of investment wherein eventually, unconsciously, hindi mo nga naiisip na kasama pala ito yung pagtulong mo sa pag-empleyo ng mga kapitbahay natin na walang trabaho. Okay. So, malaking bagay. Sa bilang suporta sa inyong pangangailangan ng ating mga manggagawa upang maging malakas at sigurado sa inyong negosyo, ay may mga programa tayo sa Pilipinas. Just keep in touch with our regional office sa inyong respective regions, like in CAR, sa Baguio, sa Region 2, sa Tuguegarao, and in Region 4A. So alam nyo kung which region you belong. So get in touch to them. I'm sure about reintegration, national reintegration for FWs, ito yung kanilang pinagtutuunan at pinapalakas na programa. So good luck po sa ating mga kababayan, mga OFWs. Alam po na ito ay hudyat ng inyong kagustuhang mangyari. And alam ko kasi na marami sa kanila may lupain na. Lalo na dyan sa Kalinga, Apayao, sa part of Cardillera, malalaki ang lupa ng mga OFWs dito. Kasi nakikapagkwentuhan din ako sa kanila. And there are even those who are sharing information na pinataniman na daw nila ng corn, mais. Kasi na problema before daw, maraming coffee silang itatanim dyan. Kaya lang ang problema nila yung market. Ngayon, mas nadagdagan, hindi lang market yung i-introduce kung paano maproseso. At sila na mismo ang lahat ng gagawa at finished product na masarap na kape ang kanilang ihanda at pagkakakitaan. So, we will monitor yung mga OFWs na engage into this kind of business. We will monitor, and because we want also to help, to assist you. Okay. So maraming salamat po at sa inyong tagumpay we always wish you the best and mabuhay po kayong lahat. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you po, Miss Versi. Again po, kami po ay nagpapasalamat po sa lahat po ng ating mga panelists. Kami po sa Philippine Consulate General here in Hong Kong. Siyempre po mula sa OWA, sa PTIC Hong Kong, DTI CAR, at siyempre rin po sa ating DA po na nasa Beijing po. Nagpapasalamat po kaming lahat po sa mga nag-participate po ngayong araw po. So have a good day po and God bless po. Paalam po.
Thank you.